Hi, my name's Marcia Rodriguiz, and I'm a statistic. Shocking as it may seem, I work out 6 days a week, I've never been overweight, and I have more energy than most people in my age group. But I had an opportunity to have a cardiovascular screening done, and the test results came back shockingly and extremely high risk. I didn't believe it. I thought this equipment must be faulty. I think the person that's doing the screening needs to go back to school because they obviously don't know what they're doing. So I just didn't believe it. And so at that time I was, I had a lot of medical family and friends that kind of guided me toward an additional blood work, and I had that done, and it came back and it was horrible. And so the writing was on the wall. I didn't get a free pass. I had to decide, and as luck would have it, a good friend of mine, Dane, was in town, and I was driving him around to some of the cardiovascular screening seminars that they were putting on, and he said, "Marcia, you have to try the arginine." And he kept bugging me, "You have to try the arginine." And I go, okay. So I did. And within 6 months, and it could have been sooner than that, it's just that they didn't do my blood work for 6 months. Without changing anything else, my plaque levels fell from 286, which was extremely high risk, to 198 in the first round. My A1C levels fell, and a number of other high risk factors fell into place. And so if this could be me, it could be anyone. You know, working out as much as I did, dancing as hard as I did, I could have thrown plaque with it at that high of a level, and I would not have survived that. And in fact, my dad died of a massive heart attack at a young age. It was a plaque incident, and history would have repeated itself. So Pro-Arginine Plus saved my life. I have now gone out and I want to make sure that everyone who has a family history or may not know that they have risk can plug into the resources that we have to find out. Don't guess. You need to test, you need to be proactive. You can be proactive, and you can participate in your own wellness.
Out of 10 of us have one or more risk factors for heart disease. This was a kind of a startling statistic for me. Heart disease kills more Americans every year than all of the casualties of wars combined throughout our entire American history. Can you believe that? All the way from the American Revolution to now, there were 600 and some odd thousand casualties of war every year. There's an estimated 700,000 people that die from that have heart attacks and have heart disease. So most oftentimes without warning. They say that it's really a crazy thing to think that the number one symptom of a heart attack could be death, or that is how that would play out. And to me, that's a scary thing. So most of us walk around thinking, I'm healthy. I don't have anything to worry about. This isn't going to happen to my family. And that's what I thought too. I work out 6 days a week. I've never been overweight, and I have more energy than most people in my age group. So when I had an opportunity to have a cardiovascular screening, I thought, hey, bring it on. I'm going to do great. In fact, I'm probably going to be better than most of the people. Guess what? I was wrong. So this is how things really were. That's what it really looked like for me. And I was stunned to see the result. In fact, I didn't believe it. I thought that the equipment was faulty. I thought that the person doing the screening should have gone back to school because they didn't know what they were doing. So I just really didn't believe it. I was stunned. So needless to say, I just didn't believe it. And luckily, I had family members who were in the medical field that I went to, and I said, hey, I don't believe this test, but just in case it's right, what do I do? And they said, well, go and ask for a comprehensive blood panel. It will tell you your plaque levels, some of the genetic factors. It's going to give you information about your size of your lipids and other high-risk factors. So I took that information and I thought, okay. So I went to Quest, drove up, thought, this is cool. I'm going to prove that this test is wrong. And guess what it really looked like? Guess what happened then? It validated, the blood work validated the screening results. And not only did it validate the screening results, it revealed that I had extremely high plaque levels, that I do have some genetic predisposition, and, you know, that I had some work to do. I was a statistic. And at that moment, I realized I didn't get a free pass. Just because I worked out, it didn't matter. I felt frustrated, very frustrated, because I thought, you know, I'm doing everything I can. You know, I work out. I mean, I eat right most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, you know, and I do what I'm supposed to do. So what's up with this? Seriously? And then the survivor in me kicked in. And I realized this wasn't about me. It was about my family. It was about my life. I want all of you guys to repeat after me. It's about my family.
It's about my family.
It's about my life.
It's about my life.
Let's do it again. It's about my family. A little louder this time.
It's about my family.
There you go. It's about my life. Because it is.
My life.
Okay, so I want, if you don't take anything away today, I want you to take this. Never underestimate your value. The value that each one of you bring to your family is irreplaceable and unforgettable. You matter. So let's just take a look at what a day in the life of some of us look like. Let's look at this. All right, guys, this is for the ladies. Does that look familiar? We're Santa Claus the dog walker, the tooth fairy a friend. We're the Easter bunny, a grocery shopper, the chef. We're a sister. We're the laundry doer. That's my favorite. The taxi driver, the grandma, the wife, and we work. Wow. Can any of you guys relate to this?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's give yourselves a hand. That's a lot going on. And for the men, look at this. They're the coaches. They're our mentors. They're our leaders. They're role models. They're our advisors. They're sons. They're husbands. They're grandfathers. And you said men can't multitask. Seriously. So we're amazing, you guys. We're amazing creatures. We do a lot. I want you guys all to say, I'm amazing.
I'm amazing.
I'm amazing.
I'm amazing.
Because you are. And that's what, that's really what I want you to take away, is that you are amazing. Your life is worth everything. It's worth everything. So, now that we talk about the value that you have and how important you really are, how many of you have seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life? You remember George? Poor George. George was just getting hammered by life's everyday events, financial, job, family. He just really felt that his family would be better off without him. He didn't want to be here anymore. So he went down to Powdersville Bridge and he decided to jump off. But before he could hit the icy water, his guardian angel saved him. And it was the guardian angel's job, so that he could earn his wings, if you remember correctly, to let him see what life would be like without him. That's insight. He gave George insight. I want you guys seriously to close your eyes for a moment, and I want you to think about what your family's lives would look like without you. Okay. For those of us who have lost people that we love, we know the answer to that. It's never the same. People are irreplaceable. My dad died. He was an athlete. He was thin. And he was active up until the moment that he died. And that was 30 years ago. And there's not a day in my life that goes by that I don't think about him. Not a day. My time was cut short. Our time was cut short. But the mark that he left on my life is unforgettable and is irreplaceable. I can't replace him. That's the reality of it. I wish that I would have known then what I know now. Because maybe he would have been here longer. Maybe he would have gotten to see my daughter. Because he was quite a guy to get to know. But she didn't get to know him. Maybe he would see my grandson who looks just like him. Who sits like him and acts like him and walks like him. There are so many things we have today that we didn't have back then, and we need to wrap ourselves around that and take advantage of the new things and the innovative things that we have at our fingertips. The good news is that we're living at in a time that we have a huge advantage over heart disease. In the battle with heart disease, we can win this fight. We can win this fight. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to engage in the fight. You need to fight for your families and for your lives. There are new preventative therapies out there and advanced medical technology. There's genetic risk assessments. You don't have to be a statistic. Genetics do not have to determine your fate. It's a small part of it, but a very small part. Most of it we can learn. We just have to be willing to take that step and to go forward. We have to grab a hold of the resources that we have and be thankful that we have them. Knowledge is powerful. Remember, I was at high risk. So, I had to go out and decide. And I thought, well, I'm going to go, and I want to know everything that's going on. I want to know what my risk factors are. I want to know what my genetics look like. I want to know how I can participate in my own wellness. I want to know what my options are, what I can treat preventatively, and what step I take next. So I went in search of a preventative cardiologist. And preventative is the key word because I hadn't had a heart attack yet. My plaque levels were really high. I had a lot of other crazy things going on, but I hadn't had a heart attack yet. I was still salvageable. And so, as luck would have it, I was introduced to Dr. Michael Twyman. And from the moment that I walked in his office, I knew that I was in the right place. I knew that I could get every bit of information that I needed. I could be proactive in my own wellness. He gave me a voice, but he provided me with the resources I needed. And I've learned so much from him. So as I said in the beginning of this, my job and my goal today was to come in here and share the information that I have with you based on what happened to me, and also share my resources. And I am proud to introduce my most valuable resource. Dr. Michael Twyman has been a godsend for me, and I would like to introduce you, and he can tell you all the great things that are going on in the cardiology world that I can't tell you. But anyway, you guys, you're worth it. I want you to say again, my life is why, my family is why. Please don't underestimate your value. We will be doing screenings here, together with Lindenwood University. They are bringing the screenings to you next Wednesday and Thursday from 9 o'clock to 4:30 in this very room. It will give you information on the overall health of your heart, strength of your heart, arterial elasticity, remaining blood volume, your autonomic nervous system, and the cool part is it only takes 3 minutes and it's non-invasive. Please take the time for yourselves to do this. You can schedule a time on the way out. Dr. Twyman, sorry, I didn't mean to make him stand there, but he made me wait for 15 minutes once for an appointment.
Hello everybody, my name is Michael Twyman. I'm a cardiologist. I work over at the Hospital.